Welcome to the book of Zechariah. It's in the Old Testament among the 12 minor prophets. In fact, it's the 11th book of the minor prophets. The word Zechariah means Jehovah is renowned. The Lord used the prophet Jeremiah to speak unto his people. In the first verse, as well as the remaining verses, verses 1 through 6, in chapter 1, you'll see that the Lord was strongly urging by the prophet Zechariah of his people turning, repenting. Let's go to verse 1. So the Lord spoke to Zechariah. The word came unto Zechariah in verse 1. And then he went to verse 2 of chapter 1 of Zechariah. And the Lord said that he was sore pleased with your fathers. That's what he told them to tell. That's what he told them to tell them. And he's given them, in verse 3, the same opportunities that he gave their fathers. He's given them the opportunity to turn. That means turn around about. You know how somebody's walking away from you and you walking away from them? Well, the Lord wants them to turn to him first. Change their mind, in other words. Repent in the Greek. Or change of purpose. So once they turn to him, he'll recognize it, and then he'll turn to them. That means that he'll change his mind and what he's going to do like he did to their fathers. Their fathers failed to turn from idol worshiping and other things. They failed to turn. They failed to repent. They failed to hear from the Lord and hearken unto his ear. In other words, be attentive. Even though the prophets of old had preached to them, cried out to them. That means when he cried in a loud voice, urging them to turn from their wicked ways and their wicked doings. This is the same message that the Lord has given to them. The second chapter of Chronicles came to mind. The second Chronicles, that is, chapter 7, verse 14 came to my mind. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face, then will I hear from heaven, and I will forgive their sin. And it goes on to say, and will heal their land. So the land was sick and ill. He's willing to heal the land. One thing about that word turn, he tells them that they turned so they had the ability to turn. Was nothing stopping them from turning but themselves. Even today, people can repent, change their mind, and start walking towards Jesus, give their life to Jesus. give it all to Jesus. Even you have to come at night and listen to what Nicodemus was listening to Jesus. He had to come at night. Some celebrities watch this video, but they don't mention my name. That's good, because they come in at night. They still have some things and some deformities, but the Lord can deal with you. Like the woman in the Song of Solomon, she had deformities. That's what they mean by dark. Some still issues. The Lord can deal with you while you born again, because he deal with it. Each and every person, preacher, teacher, whatever titles they have, he had to work on them after they've been born again. Yeah. So the Lord urging them to turn. He said, he was basically telling them in the other verses, 5, 6, up to 6, how did that really work out for them? Your fathers. Are they here now? Did they listen to the prophets? How did that work out for them? That's sound like a rhetorical question for them, because they know that their fathers didn't do too well. They know that they were put in exile because of their sins, and let a Babylon king pound down on them for 70 years. And that's what we are trying to get people out of. I'm looking at the time. We got good time. So what I want you to do, I'll read verse 6 with you. But my words and my statutes, which I command my servants, the prophets, did they not take hold for your fathers? And they returned and said, like as the Lord of hosts, according to our doing, so have he dealt with us. Mm-hmm. So the Lord dealt with their fathers, and he's trying to keep them from having the same situation. That's why he told them to turn. Now, there's going to be another situation in chapter 1, verse 7 of Zechariah. And it'll start in verse 7, and you'll hear what the Lord said to them in verse 8, because he came back the 24th day of the 11th month and spoke to Zechariah again. And he said unto them, I give you just a little bit of it, because you're going to have to see it on part 2. I saw by night, behold, a man riding on a red horse. And he stood among the myrtle trees that were in the bottom. And behind him were red horses, speckled in white. We'll cover that in part 2. This is part 1. Love you. I'll see you then.